Saquon Barkley just confirmed, once again, he's definitely not human, with a 200-yard shredding of the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and maybe the play of the century, but there were two other plays that might have been the real difference in saving the Birds. And trust me, I do mean saved from their head coach, who tried once again to get himself fired in Philadelphia. I'm Thomas Mott. This is The Thomas Mott Show. There are really three big questions we all have after a win like that on Sunday. Like, first, how's A.J. Brown's knee? What in the world was Nick Sirianni thinking? And is Saquon Barkley a legit, actual human being? But first, A.J.'s health. Here's what we know. The knee injury was definitely suffered on this play, the catch over the middle on third down. Took kind of an awkward shot here, but there is a new report this morning from The Athletic's Jordan Schultz that confirms the Eagles do not think anything major happened, and it should just be a sprain. Brown, as we speak, is currently getting an MRI, so more details will come. I might put them in the pinned comment down below, but all seems to be well. Drop a like for AJ, hopefully being okay. Also, the winner of our Commanders-Eagles ticket giveaway was Bill Rigby. That was drawn about halftime of the Jaguars-Eagles game. I've not heard from Bill yet. Bill, if you're watching this, go in my description box, send me an email. We can claim your tickets. All the details are down below. And for those of you who did not win, how about we give away this Saquon Barkley Kelly Green Nike t-shirt? Wish I could have this for myself, but all you gotta do is drop a like, be subscribed, and comment Saquon on this video, and I'll give this one away on a later show this week. Now, speaking of Saquon, of course, we're all talking about the play. You've seen it a million times now, where he defies physics and logic and jumps over a man backwards, and one of the wildest plays I think we're ever going to see in our lifetime. I mean, this is just absolutely unbelievable, but the best part was all of the Bird teammates in the locker room afterwards just raving about this move by Saquon.
It was the best play I've ever seen.
I saw the spare. How the did he see him? I don't know, man. Some guys are blessed.
I've never in my life ever seen a man do that. I don't even know how you plan that in your head. I don't even know how you think of that. But I've never seen a man jump that high at the weight he is and the size he is. It was just incredible. So probably one of the best plays I've ever seen in my life.
Crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like it.
I ain't gonna lie, I felt like a fanboy for a quick second. I had to snap back to who I was, but I was like, yeah, that was crazy.
Still, though, the bigger deal was Barkley's overall performance on Sunday. It wasn't just the hurdle, but his 159 rushing yards and 2 absolutely massive touchdowns that kind of helped seal the win. Barkley has already eclipsed 1,000 yards from scrimmage already this year, and the season is only halfway done. He's a legit, serious 100% MVP candidate. And yet, despite Saquon Barkley, the biggest story of the day really is Nick Sirianni and how he tried once again to do some boneheaded decisions and try and cost Philadelphia a win against the Jags. His decision to go for it multiple times on fourth downs, which failed, and then all these don't want to kick an extra point, we're going to brotherly shove instead, which didn't work, makes no sense. I'm all for being aggressive. I love being aggressive. That's one of the best parts of Nick Sirianni, but after you fail the first couple of times, quit trying to do it again, which he did kind of agree with post-game, but then also didn't. Trust me, fans, you're going to hate this clip.
We've done pretty good at those in the past. And so you always think about everything. You think about who you have. You think about your past experiences with it. You always look at the analytics of it. And we've been pretty good on those. Today they did a good job. And so I'll look at everything. But everything in the moment, I'm always doing what I think is best for the football team. And today it didn't work, but that's the way it goes. That's the hat I have to wear, right? When we get a fourth down and we convert a fourth down, we're not, it's nothing's really said. When we don't, I understand that there's going to be questions. But again, I have to be able to have the balls to do that, really, at the end of the day, and say, am I doing everything I can do to help us win the game? And in those moments, I thought I was, but I'll go back and relook at them. I'm always going to be hypercritical of myself. And when it doesn't work, I'm definitely going to think even more about it.
There's a real discussion if the Birds lose that football game, Nick Sirianni is fired today. I mean, seriously, he could have been fired based on all those boneheaded decisions. But he won, and so he lives to fight another day. Nick, can you please just take a long, good, hard look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm not going to be the reason this excellent football team keeps either losing or having close games this year. Seriously though, this was a dominant win for the Birds really from the start, beginning with Shady and Saquon. I love this, hugging it out pregame, Saquon going off in front of Shady McCoy, and then of course everything getting started on the football field with this awesome forced fumble by Sidney Brown to give the Birds great field position early. 2 plays later, and Saquon, what do you know, makes his first splash with the wheel route touchdown, just like in Brazil week 1, putting the Birds on the board up 7-0. Then right after a Jaguars punt, Hurts would then settle in, great third down connection to A.J. Brown, and of course the play we already mentioned, 3rd down and 6, you know the drill here, it's Saquon being Saquon. Still though, that drive would stall, but at least they kicked a field goal. You forgot they at least tried one, got the points. What a concept. Birds up 10-0. Back on offense after another Jags 3-and-out, and the Birds would go for it. Here's your first 4th and 3 inside the 20, and they didn't get it. And honestly, I don't hate this one. It's the first time you're attempting it. You're trying to be aggressive. You're already up 10. You're rolling. Defense is playing great. This is actually a pretty good play call. It's just a missed throw from Jalen Hurts, but overall, this one's fine. It's everyone after this I have a problem with. Also, speaking of Hurts missing on that throw, overall, he was fantastic. The passing chart, yet again, is money. Another turnover-free day, and don't look now, but he has 12 total touchdowns since the bye week, and wait for it, a higher passer rating right now than he did at any point in 2022. I'm just saying. Then pinned back deep in their own territory, and here's where the AJ injury play happened. It's a 3rd down pass that doesn't really go anywhere. Already talked about it, but this was the actual play. But then, how about Zach Baun? Tip drill interception. Man, the 2 Eagle linebackers, they've been dominating the past 4 weeks, and both of them would have a huge part in this win. Nice to see Zach Baun finally come away with his first interception as an Eagle. Then back on offense, and Smitty would get his first catch here, moving the chains. And then this is a 3rd and 17 draw play, wide open, right side of the field, and a sprint to the end zone by Saquon Barkley. It's 17-0, or at least it should have been. Sirianni, Kellen Moore, they're going crazy on the sideline, and right here is where the game should have been over. But stop right there. There was an offsides on the extra point, and so the ball gets placed at the 2. And again, it makes sense to go for 2 here because you're rolling and it's your first attempt at doing it. But they wouldn't get it. Tush-push didn't really work that well, and I think after one failed tush-push, Sirianni should start to kind of figure things out. And I thought Jalen's answer to the whole idea of why the tush-push was failing was interesting post-game as well.
Well, I gave them a lot of credit this week when you guys didn't want to ask me questions about the defense. So it was a really good defense, and they challenged us, and they showed up situationally. Up front, I said they had a great front 7. They had really good edge rushers, and they affected the game. And you know, they posed a challenge for us, not only on that play, but, you know, a lot of other plays in the game, too.
Still, though, back on offense to start quarter number 3 and show some love for Jahan Dotson. Probably the catch of the day until Smitty's later, but this was really great. Sadly, it was Dotson's only target because, again, they just don't like to use him, but at least he said post-game he's staying ready.
People tend to forget that, like, I was a first-round pick, you know, I can make plays. It's just because I'm the 3rd receiver in this offense. I don't get a lot of opportunities, so I got to make the most of them when they come. But like, I have the ultimate confidence in myself when the ball's in the air that I'm going to come down with it. I'm going to make a play, and that's what I did.
Hurts would then run it in for a touchdown 2 plays later, but then they'd get another penalty and decide to go for their second tush-push 2-point conversion. And again, just take the points here. You saw it fail earlier. The tush-push was not working well. This is where Nick Sirianni is just being stubborn. He's trying to show you that, hey, we are going to beat you with a tush-push no matter what. I'm aggressive. I'm the guy. Just take the points here. Listen to Lane Johnson post-game basically say, we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Just take the dang points.
You know, when you look at the game, it was a win, but, you know, I feel like we left a lot of points up on the board. You can get very complacent, you know, being up. There's like a natural complacency when you're up on people. And with the talent you have in this league, like I was saying earlier, it'll catch up to you, and it did.
Still, though, at this point, it's 22-0. All the Sirianni antics, it's 22-0. Yes, Lawrence would then, on the ensuing drive, go right down the field, probably his best drive of the day, and run it in for the Jags' first points. Worth noting, Q gave up his lone catch of the day on this drive. Zay also had a few drives where people are trying to say that he didn't have a great game overall. But you look at the numbers, the Bird cornerbacks were targeted 6 times, 5 to Isaiah Rodgers with just 1 catch allowed, and 1 overall pass to Q's side for 1 catch. Again, a really great day for the 4th week in a row by the Bird secondary. Back on offense, and we have the controversial Saquon no tackle happen here, which, I don't know, guys, you tell me. To me, clearly getting tripped. He's clearly tripped. I mean, it's obvious, which should count as him being touched right before going to the ground, right? Well, worth noting, Zach Berman asked the refs post-game what they saw, and here was their answer. Quote, Yes, he was touched by a defender, but then he ran into 69 on the offense, so that was deemed a stumble on the field. Because it was a stumble, he then went down, and it was not down by contact, therefore a fumble. Which, if I'm confused, then you're probably confused as well. But wasn't he still tripped? Like, I think he was still touched here. Either way, this to me seemed like a miss. The broadcasters thought it was a miss. Everybody thought this was not a fumble, and yet it was. Scoop and score return for a touchdown, and the game, because of Sirianni and this one bad call by the refs, was suddenly one score. Still, we forget Hurts would march back into the Eagle red zone, but then another fourth down miss. Here's the... Take the points, Nick. This is it, right here. Here's when you can take the points and go up 2 scores, but of course he didn't. Still, though, the defense would hold up on the ensuing drive, forcing a Jaguar punt, and then out-trotted Jalen Hurts in the fourth quarter, which... I think this is then the best drive maybe of Jalen Hurts' career. First, handoff Saquon, open things up, massive run, love that. But then this throw and catch to Smitty, 46 yards. It's getting overlooked because of all the other incredible plays. But Jalen said post-game, this was a play he kept messing up time and time again in practice and was pumped to finally get it right.
That was one that I struggled with in practice all week. I had an opportunity to AJ in practice, had an opportunity to Smitty in practice. And didn't hit it right. It just wasn't clicking. But we repped it and we talked about it and we put time into it. And we were able to execute it in a crucial moment. And I think just a great overall effort from everyone. Smitty trusting the ball to get to him and creating that separation and making a play and then making another amazing play in the red zone. I just think it took us all. It took us all from protection to how we blocked up front in the run game, how we protected, how we made plays at the wide out position. I think this win took everybody.
But of course, we forget about that play because on 3rd and 22, a couple of plays later, how about maybe the best catch I think I've ever seen an Eagles player make? Like, seriously, can you think of a better catch than this? One-handed, falling out, back of the end zone, his feet somehow stay in bounds. The difficulty level on this catch to me, again, is probably the catch of the year. I know we're focusing on Garrett Wilson, but this is an unbelievable play. And this should have sealed it again until they decided to go for 2 for like the 9th time in this game. Now, back on defense, needing a stop, Lawrence would convert a big 4th and 13, setting up another touchdown run, once again cutting this game back to being a one-score game. I just could not continue to believe how many times the Birds would take a double-digit lead and then give it right back. Back on offense, and Saquon would get the Birds close, but not close enough, and now I guess Nick Sirianni decided, okay, we haven't used Jake Elliott since quarter number 1, how about send him out for a 57-yard field goal that was just a bit outside. Personally, I would have punted here, pin him back deep, because, again, a 57-yarder on a cold leg, Jake the make is great, but you were setting him up for failure. I also wouldn't have given Avonte Maddox his lone snap of the day on the final drive, covering Evan Ingram here, resulting in a pass interference, but again, what do I know? But then, 1:42 left, 1st and 10, in the Eagle red zone, Trevor giveth and Trevor taketh away. What was he thinking here? I mean, why are you throwing a up-for-grabs jump ball on 1st down where you have a ton of time left? Doesn't matter, though, picked by Nakobe Dean, and this one saved the day, and again, honestly, maybe Nick Sirianni's job.
It's a play that I knew they had. They got good backs. They can run good routes. I know Saquon scored on it early in the game, a play that was kind of like that from the backfield, study and go. I got beat on it in training camp against Kenny Gainwell. So I had I've seen it quite a bit. I remember from college. Got beat on it a couple times in practice too. So I kind of was like waiting on it. It was an opportune time. It was high red zone. They knew what we was in. They knew 3-by-1 when we at the end of the game. They got the read right, and I just had to make a play.
This might have been the most dominant win from the Birds all season long, more than the Giants and more than the Bengals last week. They were humming on offense, humming on defense. They had 3 turnovers. They didn't turn the football over, except for that Saquon trip, but not a trip. Either way, yet still we are talking about Nick Sirianni being dumb today. You just can't keep doing this, Nick. I will say this. I am going to choose to be positive today. I know I'll see a lot of comments about Sirianni and the refs and all sorts of stuff, but again, the offense, defense firing on all cylinders. Only a couple of drives where Fangio's defense really bent and broke. They only gave up 2 scores. I think overall, this offense and defense continue to show that Philadelphia, at least on the field, take Nick Sirianni out of the equation, is a serious Super Bowl contender.
But I think we just got to rush and cover a little bit better as the game goes on. But I do think as a whole, we coming together and it's starting to click for us. But yeah, we just gave up. We just gave up a couple, and then they start getting a little quick pass going. But yeah, we just gotta get some time by rushing and covering together.
You know, it's a good win. You know, we always feel good about a win, but we know tomorrow it's going to be some things on the tape that we got to clean up. So just looking forward to getting better.
I'm really curious to read your comments about this one down below. There's a ton to get into, from Saquon Barkley to Nick Sirianni to the refs to Jalen Hurts and DeVonta Smith. Like, I want your comments down below. Be sure to comment Saquon just to get entered into the giveaway, but then drop a second comment and give me your thoughts on the game. Are you feeling positive today? 4 straight wins? Are you feeling worse because of Nick Sirianni? I think I'm going to go overall positive, but at least the Birds won in the end, and hopefully, I know it's wishful thinking, Nick Sirianni is taking a good, long, hard look in the mirror and going, this is a Super Bowl caliber roster, I just don't want to screw it up, and if he does that, then the Birds are going to be just fine going forward. Plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks, including updates on Dak Prescott's injury down in Big D, obviously A.J. Brown as well. Trade deadline is tomorrow. Hit the notification bell in case they make a trade. Crazy weekend, but they won. I'm Thomas Mott. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.